Hello everyone, Richard here, back for another Diecast review for the Diecast F1 review. And here today is the Benetton B194 Ford from the 1994 F1 season, made by Minichamps or Paul's Model Art in 1/18 scale, and it's a beautiful model. Of course, the car driven by Michael Schumacher to the 1994 F1 season in controversial style, and teamed up with what's his name, Jos Verstappen, JJ Leto and Johnny Herbert, all of which were pretty naff in the car. But there was a bit of suspicion whether the car was actually legal because well, the car was pretty dominant in the beginning of the season, or all through the season really. Whether the car had traction control, launch control, and all other driver's aids is debatable. I'm not going to go into that, but who knows, who cares. But anyway, the season was won by, of course, Michael Schumacher. It could have been won by Senna, but of course he wasn't there to really get involved in the championship after round 3, of course. But beautiful car nonetheless. Like I say, originally driven by Michael Schumacher, but of course JJ Leto was originally going to be his teammate for the whole of the season, but had an accident in testing, and I think he broke his neck or a vertebrae in his neck, so he had to sit out a few races. So Jos Verstappen started the season and did round 2. JJ Leto returned in round 3, and was eventually replaced again by Jos Verstappen. And when Michael Schumacher had a 2-race ban, JJ Leto sat in for Michael Schumacher, and they were both pretty naff as well. So and then Johnny Herbert coming at the last 2 races and was also pretty naff. Michael Schumacher scoring all but 10 points of their, I think it was 108 points that season. 108, something like that. And yeah, it was a pretty controversial season, marred by accidents, deaths, and all politics as well. Yeah, it was a pretty messy season. 21 years ago already. It just shows how old I am. Right, well, anyway, we're on to the model now. Of course, produced by Paul's Model Art at the time, now of course Minichamps. This 1/18 scale model comes in various versions as well. This is the, I think, Australian Japanese Grand Prix version, where it has the Bitburger along the side. Most of the season it had I think it was Benetton Sports System along the side there. And then, of course, at races like Germany, it had Minichamps model cars. Silverstone, I think it had Oracle on the side, or Oracle. Can't remember what exactly it was called. But primarily the side pod was green, so it did look a bit weird compared to this one. And also, before the Hungarian Grand Prix, the wheel rims were also all black. But from Hungary they were painted white. And they do look quite good, the white rims. Especially on the 95 car as well, because they had the blue ring opposed to the green ring which you have on the wheels today. Of course, they're very nicely detailed wheels as well, very nicely sculpted. And also the early season model as well doesn't have the barge boards as well. This version does, and they are quite sturdy, but they are a bit flexy as well. I think they're attached underneath, and there are a couple of not retaining bolts, but plastic sprues which attach to the inside of the tub. But I'll also point out as well though that Minichamps were not really renowned for updating their cars very much, because although this car is based on the late season version, they haven't made any changes to the bodywork as per the rules. Because if you look on the bottom, the car is still flat bottom, whereas from Germany onwards they had the wooden plank along the bottom, and also the diffuser is meant to be resized as well, but this has still got the early season version as well. And also the front wing also has the parts between the front wheels, which were also banned later in the season. Turn it back. Also, the rear wing has still got its all, well, imagine all its parts. When I first got this model, I thought there was a piece missing. The lower plane of the rear wing was missing, but actually, looking at photographs, it is actually meant to be like that. It just looks really bare with the plane not there. But never mind. And going by the rules as well, the front wing is also quite larger compared to how it should be. But all in all, though, it's still a pretty good model. It's just I wish Minichamps would take the time to update their models a bit more. It's also quite obvious when you look at the models of the Williams as well. When Nigel Mansell they made made a version of Nigel Mansell's car. They basically took Coulthard's car, or Senna's car, stuck a red 2 on the nose, without updating any of the bodywork. So it did look a bit out of place. But never mind, I won't worry about that just now. But overall, it's still a very nice model. The decals are nicely applied as well. They're not going to lift off in any sudden moment, although some of them are a bit I think the ones around the bottom of the side pods are the most fragile. They seem to have been lifting a bit at the bottom. That's my phone ringing. Okay, quick jump cut there. I do apologise. What was I talking about? Don't know. Well, it was my old man on the phone anyway. Just wanted to know where I was. But anyway, back to the model. What was I talking about? Oh yes, the decals. The decals are not going to lift too soon anyway. But the ones at the bottom of the side pod, although on this side they have peeled off. I didn't notice that. And also I've got a bit of damage on the rear wing there, but that I think that's the previous owner. Because this is another eBay purchase from about 5 or 6 years ago, and it didn't have a box, but I picked it up quite cheap, and I ain't complaining. And I also love the multicoloured stripes on the rear of the bodywork. I wish they'd bring that back, but of course Benetton not in Formula 1 anymore. Never mind. Anyway, it's a striking livery, much different to their previous liveries when they had the camel colour schemes, basically yellow and green. It looked alright at the time. Of course, times have to move on. Of course, now tobacco is completely banned in Formula 1, as is on this car, because the Mild 7 has been replaced by Benetton. There are decals available you can buy online, preferably eBay. You can get to replace the Benetton logo and replace it with Mild 7. I would try it myself, but I haven't got the balls to do it, because I'm pretty much going to bollocks up a very good model, a very valuable model, and I don't want to do that. But overall, I would recommend getting one of these models as well. It doesn't matter which version you get, because there are plenty available, like I said, the early season version with the black rims and Oracle on the side, or Oracle, whatever it's called, or Benetton Sports System, whether it's Schumacher version, or Johnny Herbert, or the Verstappen version. I haven't seen a JJ Leto version, though. I don't know if they actually made one. But you can have a look around. Maybe someone's done a conversion of it anyway. I did buy my brother a Johnny Herbert version for Christmas a year or two ago, and it was in, well, it's about the same condition as this, just come with a box. But of course, my one hasn't. But it sits nicely in the cabinet. It's a very nice car as well. But price-wise for these things, they're not particularly rare. Cause like I said, there are several versions of it available. But the Schumacher version, of course, goes for a lot more money than the other versions, and this is the Schumacher version because number 5 on the nose, and it says Michael Schumacher on the side, just there. Yep, I'm not lying, this is a Schumacher model. So and also it says Schumacher collection on the bottom as well, but I did notice on the Herbert version it's got the Schumacher collection on the bottom as well, which is a bit weird. Yes, but not to worry. Strength wise though, it's pretty good. The rear wing's a bit loose on mine. The wing mirrors are a bit loose, but they're not going to fall off straight away. And the dashboards are quite solid as well. They're quite flexy. Suspension-wise, it's quite solid as well. It does. Steering's quite loose, but it's solid enough. And also the car rolls quite nicely, but that's not a big issue. It's not a selling point, is it? You're not going to be playing with it on top of the kitchen table or things like that, or running it along the carpet. But overall, though, I will recommend getting this model. It is very nice for any collector of Formula 1, especially a Schumacher collector. And, yeah, I would advise getting hold of one of these. Any model from the Schumacher collection as well, really. I will review the B195 from 95 that Schumacher drove as well as all the other Benettons as well. I did the 186 from Gerhard Berger the other day, and that is a nice model as well, but there's nothing compared to this one. It's a very nice car. Just zoom in over it, give it a quick look around. We've got the all the logos on the side. Very nice details as well. We'll try to get a look in the cockpit as well. I know some people like to brag about how much the details in the cockpit. If I get the camera to zoom in properly. Some nice details in there as well. Sorry about the light. And the natural light's a bit low today because it's raining outside. And also got the wing mirrors as well. Very nice. Need to clean a bit as well. I've just noticed there's a lot of dust on it. And also there's a hole in the side pod there. There's a bit of decal damage there, but not a biggie. Bit of blue paint or a decal sheet will cover that up. But apart from that, I would recommend getting one of these. Not this one specifically, because this one was mine, but if you look around on eBay for them, you probably pay about £30–40 for a Herbert Verstappen version and maybe £60–70 for a Schumacher version, depending on the day, because sometimes people put them on for buy it nows and not knowing what they're actually worth. So there are days like that where you can nip a bargain. or grab a bargain. But yeah, not much else to say on it at the moment. I just like looking at it because it's such a nice looking car, but it does sit in the cabinet quite nicely. I will do a view around the room later on, showing all the other cars I have lying around. I will do more reviews as well, so well, anyway, this is Richard, signing off, logging off and disappearing, and I shall return with another review, so bye for now.